Scrappin with Sheri. I am excited about the page I'm going to do today because this will be the start of my newest vacation album. We went to Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York in September, but I'm also equally excited because Creative Memories has come up with a new sketchbook. That is available now if you place a $100 order on the Creative Memories website or on my personal website, which is linked on my channel. You can get an idea book and some birthday embellishments in order to celebrate Creative Memories' 10th birthday. Now, this special is only available until October 15th or while supplies last, so I would not wait. Now, I've encouraged all of my customers to go ahead and order the Christmas bundle, which is beautiful, includes 3 new tools and beautiful papers, stickers, embellishments. That bundle is $100 exactly right now. So if you order that bundle for $100, you also get the birthday specials absolutely free. And it looks like that may be our new direction coming in January of 2025. We'll start a new book. So let's get to page 90. Can you believe it? Page 90 in our sketchbook. Now, there are still a few sketches to go, but man, we are coming to the end of this book, and hasn't it been fun? I noticed that today's is reasonably easy, but the next sketch is super easy. Of course, you know me, I'll make it a little bit harder, but let's go ahead and dive in. So for this layout, we need a background paper. We've got 4 pictures that are matted. We've got a little mat in between those just for some decorative, and another little mat up here for some decorative. How fun is that? Now, I've pulled some papers from the Passport to Adventure collection because this will be the title page for my newest album. And this is going to be my background paper. Let me slide those stickers out of the way right now. We don't want to get too overwhelmed by what we've got going on. Now, I did tell you that I'm trying printing my photos at home this time. So I went ahead and printed photos. I couldn't get this one into a 3x4 size. It's a little bit bigger. But I loved that saying, "Cottywomple is to travel in a purposeful manner towards a vague destination." That's kind of like how we travel sometimes. We go, but we don't always know exactly what we're going to see when we get there. And I printed these as close to true size as I could. But I'm liking the look of it already. Now, because there is no contrast between my background and the pictures, I am going to add some matting. And I'm going to do that with this navy cardstock. So this calls for a 6x4 picture. You'll see that mine is not quite 6 inches. So I am going to trim that white spot off of there, that little extra white spacing. And if I did this a 6 inch, that's going to give me a really wide border. So I'm going to do about 4 1/4 by about 3/4. I don't know the measurement, but it's between 5 3/4 and 6. So let's get our big trimmer out for that. And I'm going to go with that 4 1/4 measurement. And then we need to go about right there. I'm just going to verify that before I cut. Be awfully close. I'm going to go just a little hair more. You know, that's always the problem when I change the sizes just a touch, but it's all right. And look how cute that is. All right, one done. Let's go back and do this one. See if it'll fit on that excess piece we had. Looky there. I'm going to cut a little off the side of that just to make it a little more uniform. And again, I printed these on my Epson PM400. I've had several questions about that lately. One is, what about the longevity of the pictures? Do we know how stable they are? I've talked to some people who know digital better than I do. And I've done a little bit of research. And most everything I'm seeing talks about the pictures lasting anywhere from 50 years to 150 to 200 years. So do we really know? Probably not. Now, they do aging tests to determine these things. But in my opinion, it looks like the pictures are going to last longer than I do. So I think that's okay. Especially with vacation pictures, the long-term stability of these is not a major issue to me. My children are not going to love these pictures and pages. They're really for my benefit. So I'm not real concerned that they last a really long time. Now let's go back and see if we can get that on there. Now this mat was supposed to be a 6.5 by 4.5. If you'll remember, this one is not quite 6.5 wide. So I would like for this bottom mat to be about the same. And that's like 15/16, 5 and 15/16. Let's see if we can make that work. I do know that it's 4 tall, so I'm going to go 4 1/4 here. And then 5 and 15/16. That measurement's going to be important because we want this mat in the center to also correspond with that. And because I printed the white borders all the way around, I could go ahead and cut some off. I really just want to show all the places we went, which means I want the New York sign to show. That's going to drive me crazy. I'm so close there. But, you know, we've done it before. We'll just cut this white edge off. It wasn't a great picture anyway because we were driving down the highway. So I really just kind of want it in there. If you follow my travels closely, you know we've already been to these states. But we went for an advisor training in Syracuse, New York. I met some of our followers on there, which was which was really fun. But we did some things we hadn't done before, so it was really exciting to visit those states again. We only have a couple of states left to visit, and you know me, I'm trying to work a Creative Memories event into visiting those other states. We still have California, which my husband has been to. I have not. And we have to visit Oregon. So if you're from one of those places and you have a Creative Memories event next year, let me know. If you've got space, we might want to come and visit. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get the mattings done on these. And then all we'll have to add are those few little decorative elements, and we will be done. Now, you see the difference it makes matting these on this navy. I am so about making sure that we get good contrast between our photos, our embellishments, and our background pages. All right. So really all we have left to do is to add another mat here. Add this decorative mat here. And I'm going to do that using this scrap that was left over from the travel collection. I did like it because it's got planes, buses, cars. It's got a little bit of everything. Now, on this particular trip, we were in the car the whole time. But that's okay. We want to use it anyway. Now, I want to make this the same size here as this photo and the same width here as these two photos. The biggest problem with that is I don't like that there's no contrast here. So I want to make some contrast on that. And I'm going to do that again by matting. Now I know that this is 5 and 15/16 wide. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that width. How perfect is that? And then I probably need to go ahead and tape on these two pictures so I can determine the space in the middle. And I'm going to tack them kind of lightly because I want my outside spacing to be pretty uniform when I get finished. And I don't want it to be too big, too small, whatever. So I want to kind of do these loosely in case I need to move them around a touch. See, I'm already seeing, to me, that's too much space in the middle. So I can scoot all of this in just a little bit. I've got plenty of room here. When I initially laid it out, I felt like I wasn't going to have a lot of space. But we've managed to fit lots into that. So we're kind of uniform here to here. Got some space here. I'm liking that. So we'll get these evened up, and then we'll be ready to add those last few decorative details. When I looked ahead at the book, all I could think was the next page reminds me of our old CM. So I'll be doing that page to show you on Saturday. But, you know, I'll make it a little bit harder just in case you need a challenge. All right, let's pull out that ruler. Yep, it does make it easier that I have grid lines on my paper here. So we need to cut this down to make it fit right in that little area. And I'm going to do that. I'm just kind of fingernail score things. Y'all know I'm not a measurer per se, but fingernail scoring works for me. So that's going in there. Now, because this is 15/16, I don't want to cut off all my length here because I may use that for a border down the road. So let's check my width. That's going to be probably about 1.5 inches. I'm going to go a little bit bigger than that just in case. Perfect. And then I just need to cut that down a little bit smaller than the 15/16. I know y'all love these exact measurements I give you. On the sketch, they have just a different color, and they've used a different color here and here, which is kind of what we're doing. And theirs is 6.5 by 1 5/8. Because my pictures weren't exactly matted on 6.5, I just adapted that just a little bit to make it work for mine. I'm going to cut just a little more off of that, strictly because I want the borders all the way around to be pretty uniform. If I measured this, it would probably go a lot easier, but you know me and measuring. We don't always get along. All right. Let's look at where we are here. I already like the look of this. What a great title page. And then our last thing would be to add this space up here. And again, I'm going to use my navy blue for some matting there. Look, it's a ruler. And I'm at 4 and, looks like 4 1/8 side to side. So let's do that. Okay, that's good. And then I am going to just leave a small border between those, or a small space, kind of like this space here. And got my fingernail score there. And I know that you can't see it when I'm cutting it, but I can see that little scored area. We've got that to go there. So that was 4 1/8 by 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. 4 1/8 by 4 5/8. And I'm debating what to do because they just show another color here. They've actually butted theirs up against one another. I am going to leave a space here. But I think instead of adding a full sheet of this on there, I just want to add a little strip of this. I think that'll be enough to bring my color over. Gives me a little bit more color on my page, which is kind of what I was looking for, but it's not overwhelming. And I am going to add some embellishments there. So just to get my spacing right. I'm going to add that right there. And I'm putting the trimmer aside because it looks like all we have left to do are some fun embellishments. Now, these particular pictures I chose were strictly as we entered the states we visited. They're not in order because coming from Alabama, we went to Ohio, then Pennsylvania, then New York. I didn't worry too much about that because in looking at this page, right off the bat, you know the 3 states I went to. And because that's the title page for the album, that's exactly what I wanted that to look like. Now, embellishments. Let's see what we've got to work with on that. I pulled out this little ticket thing from Passport to Adventure because I thought that would be a good place to write the dates of our trip. I don't need a lot there. I did pull out some of these other embellishments as well. I liked a couple of them. What is Life But One Grand Adventure? I like that. I think the colors are fun. So that's a possibility. I'm going to grab my silicone mat so I can lay these down that I'm choosing. I love the suitcase. Well, and I could pull the green as well because I've got some green in these pictures. So we've got suitcases. Arrows are always easy to fit in. Yeah, several arrows. I like this Go See Do. What else? Travel far, travel wide. I'm going to stop right there for now and see where we're going to put these and then go on from there. So I'm grabbing some foam squares. I will add my date to that ticket, but I feel like I need some height over here. I don't love that the gray is going to be right on it, but I think it's going to be okay. And I'll add the green suitcase over there with it. So if I add this kind of overlapping the edge of that, that works. Again, it's great to use this kind of paper with lots of colors in it because you can bring out pretty much anything and it's all going to coordinate. I'll have to write on that. I'm not sure exactly how much I will write, but we'll see in a minute, won't we? I think this needs to go over here. And because it's a sticker, I'm adding 3 foam squares through there so the middle doesn't fall down. Now, I don't really want more words there. I can always put this here, which I kind of like. I feel like I need to add more color in my embellishments up there. That's kind of bothering me that all of my embellishments are gray. So I could go back and pull a different ticket if there's a different ticket. Let me show you something I had done. I took the embellishments out of that pack and I just used repositionable tape to add them to a cover sheet, a random cover sheet, so I can see at a glance what embellishments I have. Those tickets are kind of cute. Look at the little car stamp. That would be nice since we traveled in the car. So I've got the grays, I've got the greens. What about this one that says next stop? I could put our dates on that, and that would be fine. And kind of overlap that here. That would pull me in a little more color. I could pull this car stamp here. I talked to some of you the other day about how I always have a plan in my head, but it doesn't always work that way. But man, when it's done, it always seems to work out okay. We got our go see do. We've got our next stop. Let's see what else we'd like to add to that. There's a yellow compass right there, which would be good. So we could add that kind of wonky right there. And then there's another one that's the little pin drop, like when you're mapping everything, which is what I do on our trips. My iPhone and I are the navigator. That brings us in some more color. All right, I think dates on this. We could do the binoculars too. I'd add one more there. I like these little stamps. I think they're adorable. All right, that still lets me see some of the design here. I'll add my dates here. Yeah, I've got all that space right there I need to cover up. So I'll add those with my journaling pens. I was looking because there are some arrows right here. Arrows are always good for travel things. But I don't love it on that. Interesting. I could go back and pull this kind of arrow. Pull an arrow right here. Just kind of covering up some of that navy blue that I don't necessarily want showing. What about if we just set that sideways to kind of point to what we're looking at? Yeah. That does need a foam square though. All I have left right now are the bigger ones. I just ordered more because you can never have too many foam squares. And I'll add that right there. I kind of want it to overlap that go see do just a touch. And then I'll foam square this little thing that tells our dates of our trip. And this layout is done. How cute is that? And that is page 90 in our sketchbook. Stay tuned next time for page 91 and a super, super easy page that I'll make more difficult. Until I see you next time, happy scrapping.